Hi, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Dano, and I discuss anything within the realms of interior design, architecture, as well as anything creative. In this video, I will be discussing some of my favorite trends from 2024, and these will primarily be within the residential sector. However, some of these can be applied to the commercial side or contract side of design. First up, we have nature-inspired interiors. So this can pretty much be anything from adding greenery or faux greenery into your spaces, but they could also include kind of like design or biophilic design that pulls in design elements to incorporate living greenery. So this could be anything from like trellises to self-watering plants or systems along those lines. It has also been noted that just by having sight views to the outdoors or greenery through glazing in your spaces, that it can have a significant increase and factor in your overall health and well-being. By incorporating greenery into your spaces, it can also help mitigate some humidity and indoor air quality issues, which can benefit a plethora of people, especially if you live in a large city. Then just simply adding living plants can help recycle some of this bad indoor air quality and provide new oxygen into your spaces. Next up is more so a trend of incorporating smart home technology. There's been a surprising uptick of smart home tech that companies have been putting out, and I'm pretty sure we've seen a lot of different things. For example, there's like the smart thermometers, or not smart thermometers, the smart thermostats that you can modify and change to be run on a schedule. So say you're coming out of work and you're maybe 20 minutes down the road and you want your home to be cooled by the time that you arrive. Because, listen, I live in Texas. This heat is unbearable. So getting home and it's sweltering, not a good look. Well, there's also plenty of LED lighting options and fixtures that can be plugged in or ran on a set schedule as well. And a lot of these can be run through Wi-Fi or just through connection with your phone. So there's a lot of user ease of access as well as just overall energy efficiency that can be boosted through the use of these technologies. Additionally, I'm pretty sure we've also seen plenty of high-end or even mid-scale applications of LED lighting. So for example, I've seen motion censored lighting on the underside of kitchen cabinets. So say you're chopping something for a meal and you happen to run your arm on top of the countertop. Well, the motion that's going on there can actually activate motion sensors within the LED lighting system and can turn on under cabinet lighting. Moreover, I have also been seeing a lot of interiors that are embracing and incorporating natural lighting, which in my opinion is amazing. So this can be as simple as just having large windows or, bay windows within your bedrooms, or even just floor to ceiling glazing that can be coated with low E coatings, and or even just filled between the panes. You can fill different gases, which will actually help minimize thermal heat transfer. And the same thing with the low E coating, that can also help minimize thermal heat transfer while still allowing a large amount of natural light into your spaces. Additionally, spaces with large amounts of natural lighting can help your space appear more open and inviting, as well as kind of like airy, breathy, and just more homey, if that makes sense. But there's also various ways that you can maximize the effect of natural lighting, which can be anything from using mirrors to, well, the strategic placement of mirrors, as well as shimmery objects, accessories, anything metallic, or even just fabrics that have kind of like a shimmery effect on them. So if you have like pillow covers that are quite shimmery and kind of textured, they can help diffuse some of that natural lighting into your spaces. While on the topic of lighting, I am personally falling in love with sculptural light fixtures. There's also plenty of hidden lighting options that can make a big effect and become very dramatic within spaces. So lately, hidden lighting and sculptural glass light fixtures have been at the forefront for me. They can provide nice ambient lighting as well as task or even functional lighting, or simply just become focal standout pieces that could be used as wall washers or even chandelier pieces. There are several LED light options that are offered nowadays, especially with a large amount or a variety of different color frequencies. If utilized effectively, especially with like the smart home technology that I was just discussing, it can become very efficient over time. When it comes to materials, I have been seeing a large amount of interiors that are incorporating a specific type of terracotta tile, and personally, I love them. They have kind of like a natural texture to them, but they also each piece is kind of unique, but although they're used in a in a large application, for example, for walls or for flooring, they have a certain type of character to them and almost like handcraftedness to them. Well, they're called Zellige tiles, and from my information, they are created and originated from Morocco, and they're a special blend of their local clay there, and they are basically just glazed and fired, similar to other porcelain or ceramic tiles. And essentially, they have a lot of different irregularities within them due to this handcraftedness, and it kind of makes all of the tiles look similar but not identical. So they have a sense of character, they have different shades and tints to them, but they still provide enough variation and balance between the different color schemes that they can be used in a variety of different ways for, as discussed before, flooring or wall applications, but they can essentially create abstract compositions while still having a sense of character to them. I'm sure we've all seen the crazy and out there types of mirrors, and I don't think that I will ever get tired of unique and organic shaped mirrors. These types of mirrors are intriguing due to their irregularity, and they can become bold statements on just a blank wall or just ways of diffusing light into your spaces, but they can add a sense of depth and glamour to them, and they can also help create an illusion of openness due to their ability to reflect light and kind of like images into your space. Moving on to decor, tasteful and unique rugs have definitely been really up there lately. So they can really elevate your space in terms of scale, color, composition, comfort, and some can even impact acoustics. Depending on the size of the rug chosen, and of course the layout of your space and the amount of space that you have within your interior, they can be kind of manipulated and incorporated in such a way that they can play around with the dynamics of the scale of your interior furniture and kind of create a balance or interplay between these elements. They can also become focal points and have a sense of personality. They can be abstract, they can be textural, they can have various colors or colorways. They can also add warmth to your space, tie everything together to tie a whole scheme together. In addition, they can provide tactile and visual differentiation between flooring, and depending on the pile height and the dimensions of the rug that you chose, they can also impact and reduce acoustics within your space. Something that has always been beautiful in my eyes are curvilinear furniture pieces. There's kind of like a certain type of elegance that is created through the abstract forms and flowy furniture or organic shapes. Now, some of these pieces are definitely merely just for show and visual appeal. However, the pieces that are able to kind of manage and balance this visual appeal and comfort, they will always have a special place in my heart. More on the subject of fun furniture pieces, I'm starting to see a lot of interiors with chunky and funky and fun accent pieces. This can be anything from just a really interesting and sculptural chaise lounge, or just a armchair that swivels and is in a specific color that kind of pops and brings your eye to it. Well, adding big and funky accents that are bold and in vibrant colors, um, or materials in combination with oversized or colorful vases, for example, can bring a sense of variety and visual contrast. Now, just be careful, because whenever you do this, you do want to add smaller accent pieces as well as using some subdued tones to create a sense of balance between the interplay of these different elements. Similar to this topic is the trend of adding dopamine decor. So, if you're kind of like, what's dopamine? It's a neurotransmitter, or essentially a chemical messenger between neurons in your body. And this specific chemical messenger, dopamine, is created within the hypothalamus of your brain, but it also acts as a hormone and has a similar structure to epinephrine or norepinephrine, also known as adrenaline. And these chemicals or hormones are also made within the adrenal glands, which are located on top of both of your kidneys. Dopamine has several body functions, but among these is pretty much is its reputation as the feel-good chemical, because the chemical has a very large role in the body's reward system and pleasure. Creating spaces that trigger the release of dopamine, or the happiness or feel good chemical, involve the use of bold, vibrant colors, anything kind of whimsical, playful elements, think maximalism. There's a lot going on, it's very bold, it's very vibrant, there's a lot of contrast, pretty much essentially elements like that. Moving away from the sciencey aspect of design, the next topic is pretty much character-rich spaces, which in essence capture a sense of the tenant's personality, or can be anything kind of like accent pieces that pay homage to the homeowner or tenant. So this could be something like, say, a photograph of a person and their dog on their nightstand, or possibly even shelving for people's workout equipment after their Peloton biking session, or maybe you have a yoga session that you want to put your yoga mats on afterwards. So it's just another way to think of this is almost as if it's mindful design, because after all, you're designing the space for your client, for your tenant, for your homeowner, and what would these spaces be without them, and what would designers be without them? Nothing. One space that has become fixed within interiors now is the home office. Due to the embrace of remote work that a lot of businesses have incorporated into their business structure, the home office has pretty much reinforced its permanence within the home or within design. And there's a lot more design work that's going into the functionality and use of spaces that make it both comfortable, functional, but beautiful as well. So the home office can be seen on several floor plans now, kind of labeled as a flex or a study. And there's a lot more products that are being marketed and utilized within these spaces due to its permanence or reinvigoration. So, for example, this could be anything from ergonomic furniture, soundproofing with acoustic wall tiles, or natural and ambient lighting, as well as rugs, anything that can help the use of the space and the user of the space. So this next section, I will discuss different design styles that are becoming prominent once again. First up, we have the reinvigoration of traditional. Ornate furniture mixing with modern interiors. They've pretty much begun to create a complementary effect on eclectic space planning layouts, while still creating a sense of charm and comfort that was significant with the traditional design style. Additionally, I've been seeing a lot of wooden wall and ceiling paneling that are making a comeback. Personally, I grew up in a Spanish colonial slash traditional styled home, so I've personally never found it too interesting. However, the current mix of modernism with traditionalism is at least piquing my interest a little bit. Next up is warm minimalism. Minimalism has been a large staple within several modern and contemporary interiors. In my opinion, though, I almost always get a cold and structural feeling, kind of reminiscent of brutalist architecture, and specifically whenever I think of minimalism. In contrast, there's been a surprising kind of like warm take on minimalism, which is starting to incorporate a lot of lush fabrics, wooden furniture, and simple but clean light fixtures. The style that everyone and their mother knows about, mid-century modern. This style has always had an everlasting appeal due to its timeless allure, and this is achieved through its sleek lines, organic shapes, as well as functional design. I've always loved this style due to the retro and homey atmosphere it provides, elegance via simplicity, function, and form, if you will. Now, this last point of the video is more so a way of design, not necessarily a design style. So this is complexity via dual or tritones, or essentially using two or tritone color palettes or color schemes, which are being elevated in my eyes recently. These interiors add depth and complexity through various types of contrast to provide a sense of balance and visual interest without appearing too overwhelming. These schemes pair best with minimalist design styles due to the differences in contrast that allow it to form this complexity. If we want to talk about what's out for 2024, we have monotony. Think all one color and its shades and tints. So essentially beige homes or all white interiors. Girl, they personally give bland to me, so I would rather not. So, on a smaller scale, you can also think of rooms just in one color, no accent paints, trims, detailing, accessories, etc. So, essentially, to me, it makes me think there's not really much personality. It's more of a marketing type of thing where it's like you can transform this space into whatever you want. However, whenever you are trying to speak with a designer or work with a designer, you want to infuse your personality already as is. Caning and wicker furniture is next. These pieces can be damaged easily. They can be difficult to clean as well as not meshing well together with several design styles, so they can be difficult to work with. Boucle arrived fast and went out just as quickly. Personally, I saw furniture pieces with boucle for the first time at NeoCon 2023 in Chicago, and I noticed several interiors utilizing these furniture pieces with this type of fabric. And personally, I didn't really find them that appealing. There was something about them that just felt very kind of like corporate, very, I don't know how to explain it. It was very, they had almost like a sense of warmth and hominess to them. However, visually, I think they worked. But on the flip side, I think that their practicality and, cleanliness, as well as their ability to snag on things, would kind of deter me from their use. So I feel like in a picturesque world where you would kind of want that editorial look, it would work. But personally, they just weren't the biggest fan for me or anything to stand out. And personally, I didn't really like the tactile feel of the fabric either. It kind of made me think of torn up furniture fabric. Well, y'all, that's everything that I have for this video, so please let me know down below in the comments whether any of these piqued your interest or whether you would like to have any of these trends within your spaces or your home. And also feel free to hit that noti bell to get notified whenever I upload, and please subscribe, like, and share this video. I'll see you on the next video. Ciao!